started playing with Warren Haskell, and he was kind of a classical guitarist. We were kind of trying to find our way. So we did an album called Emergence, and that was 1990 or 1991. So just to let you know, I thought I was going to do this show by myself, and then I was like, I just didn't have what it took. So I said, Andy, can you please play this gig with me? And he was like, like, what's he gonna say, right? And I said, well, I thought he could learn a couple of songs, and this was when I didn't think he would learn at all. But he was like, oh yeah, I can do that. So this is one of the ones from the CD. This is, well, the first one we're going to do is one that we do kind of a lot, but it's called Somewhere to Watch Over Me. There's a saying old says that love is blind. Still we're often told, seek and ye shall find. So I'm going to seek a certain lad I've had in mind. Looking everywhere, haven't found him yet. He's the big affair I cannot forget. Only man I ever think of with regret. I'd like to add his initial to my monogram. Tell me, where is the shepherd for this lost lamb? There's a somebody I'm longing to see. I hope that he turns out to be someone to watch over me. I'm a little lamb who's lost in the wood. I know that I could always be good to one who watch over me. Although he may not be the man some girls think of as handsome, to my heart he carries the key. Won't you tell him, please, put on some speed, follow my lead. Oh, how I need someone to watch over me. Someone to watch over me. Thank you. Well, actually, he knew that one, but this next one he did not know. Nice, Andy.
Oh, thanks.
Making Andy stretch his jazz
Warren
chops.
Haskell. I hate that guy.
Such a Haskell.
When you're learning Bob Dylan songs, it's like, what's the progression? Oh, it's C, F, G, and later on there's an A minor. When you're learning one of these songs, like, I don't even have any names for the chords. I feel like a caveman to memorize 100 different things, none of which have a name. You put your hand like this.
Beautiful, Annie.
This is the one I was trying to do this one in my room by myself, and I'm like, I can't do this. It sucks. And then he's like, well, how does that one go? And then he started doing this stuff. I'm like, we could do this one. Let's do that one. So this is I think our band was called Street Life. I don't know how we came. I know there was a band.
Roxy Music.
Well, there was Randy Crawford. They had a song called Street Life. I like the street life. Yeah, so I might have come from there probably. And Randy Crawford actually recorded this song. This is called Rio de Janeiro Blue.
Ready? Keep your fingers crossed.
What's the groove? We start with that little thing.
Clouds come creeping and you got me weeping just a moment. Can't believe you're really gonna leave this town. Everyone knows can't make a move without you. You're turning my whole world upside down. And I get a feeling that I've seen the last of you. Rio de Janeiro blue. Salty air, your wind-blown hair, reflections on a dream. Thoughts of you with who knows who, flowing through me like a scream. Brazilian serenaders linger on. Help me lose my soul in your song. And I get a feeling that I've seen the last of you. Rio de Janeiro blue. Months go by, I wonder why with that tear on my own. Could it be my destiny is to live this life alone? These dark and rainy days have turned to cold. Lonely sleepless nights get old. And I get a feeling that I've seen the last of you. Rio de Janeiro came about. So Andy had been in a band with some guys called Larry Terry Tudor, and they were in a band called Birthright, and they had a drummer named Robert, Bob the drummer. They came from Texas. And then a friend came down from, the brother of a friend came down from Vancouver, and his name was Adam. So Andy was doing these solo gigs at Hennessy's and those places. And then Bob the drummer would come in and Adam would come in, and they were this power trio playing at Hennessy's when it was really little. Do you guys remember Hennessy's when it was really little?
Oh, yeah.
And then the chipster who was in Street Life and I joined. So we became
The management.
Andy.
That was the management right there.
That was our first cassette. And that's me and Andy playing. That was another hair color.
Yeah.
This was Warren right there, you guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
now?
He lives up in Chico now. We see him when we go up there. Yeah. So we had, Debbie did my hair.
Yeah. Oh, which is way.
That's
Thank
way.
you. Thank you.
So we did Andy was is a songwriter, and we were doing all these cover songs. So the management kind of was the place to start playing original music. Do you want to say a little bit about that while I tune?
All right. So we're going to do a song from our first cassette, and lots of you know this one. I remember reading the paper, that's how you used to get the news.
Gene, could you tell us something?
An article in the Los Angeles Times. It was 1989, I think, and the story was the Russians had just taken their first regiment of soldiers out of Afghanistan, and the story that the person wrote was one of the wives of a soldier who had been deployed for, I don't know, a year or something like that. She was waiting for him at the riverside in her wedding dress. And that those symbols, the wedding dress and what it stands for, and the machine gun and what it stands for, pitted against one another, a soldier coming back, was really powerful to me and continues to be. So this is, that was the basis of the song, Another Man's War. 1, 2, 3, 4. That day, the day I came home from the war, didn't think I still knew how to cry, till I saw you standing on that shore. Now there ain't much I haven't seen. Maybe what I've seen has made me blind. I'm getting tired of looking for reasons, reasons faith will never find. But you can call me what you want, I've been used to worse for sure. There's no slogan you can shout that I haven't heard before. And I'm never going back to fight another man's war. On the banks of the muddy Amu-Daraya, beneath the spot the red flag flew, our medals glittered in the sunlight. All I saw was you. They raised a monument in honor, with the losers listed name by name. change the game. And you can call me what you want, I've been used to words for sure. There's no slogan you can shout that I haven't heard before, and I'm never going back to fight another man's war. They made their reasons up to send us. Oh, and we made ours to obey. They say we change things for the better. They say we learn from our mistakes. At night I hear those engines roar. I hear the slap of boot heels in the rain. A new wheel moving in the same old circle. It's just the past coming round again. And you can call me what you want, I've been used to worse for sure. There's no slogan you can shout that I haven't heard before. I'm never going back to fight another man's war. And I'm never going back to fight another man's war. And you'll never send me back to fight another man's war. Whoa,
So I can't tell my life story in music without having Andy sing it. So.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. So I can't tell you.
To sing that song, you guys, and have Andy have written it, it's just really miraculous to me. I have so many memories of singing that song on so many different stages for so long, and that we have to keep singing it and singing it and singing it. It's so upsetting. But it needs to be sung, it needs to be played. So thanks for writing that, Andy. Okay, so
No crying, it sure shows a football.
I accept this honor. So through a series of unfortunate events, the management broke up. That's kind of all we're going to say.
Leave her right there.
The bad thing about that was that I was a really good band. The good thing about it was that Andy and I started doing a lot of duo gigs. And we also kind of played with a bunch of different people, and we ended up, Patty Orbeck came to us at some point in like 1992 or whatever, and she's like, hey, I met this agent, do you guys want to go to Malaysia and play for 2 weeks? Like, sure, that sounds awesome. And then it was like, well, it's not Malaysia, it's Singapore, and it's for a month. Okay, that's cool. She's like, so we asked our friend Christopher Polani, who's a great drummer, and a duo, George Lelegian and Tony Zamora, who were playing around here. And Tony was a bass player, and George was a great singer and guitar player, and they wrote really good songs. And Patty, who's great and sings great and writes songs, and you got, you know, we could be like the next Fleetwood Mac. I mean, this is awesome. We got a bunch of singers and songwriters, and everybody can play. Well, 2 weeks in Malaysia turned into 3 months in Bangkok. So George and Tony said, oh, I don't think I want to do that, and Christopher was like, I don't think I want to do that. So it was me, Andy, and Patty. Like, okay. So we kept thinking, well, somebody will want to go, and then like it just, you know, never happened. So we were like still kind of keeping it passionate. Like, they still want us. They still want us. It was like, well, we don't have a band. So we had an audition, and Andy had just moved in here. Andy and Maddie and Craig had just bought this place, and back then the big den there wasn't. It was just a big empty room. So, and it was concrete floor, I think, and everything. And so the agent that was doing the thing said, well, why don't you guys put an ad in the Music Connection or whatever and see who you can get. So we thought, we had to leave like the next week. So we're like, well, no one's gonna come. Well, like 50 people came. And people who could really, really play. Like they were like, when do we leave? You know what I mean? We're like, shh. Okay, you know, so, you know, do we pick the really handsome guy who can play great, or this really handsome guy who can play? I mean, it was ridiculous. So the problem was, so we found a really great bass player and what we thought, I mean, a guy who he sang great, he played electric guitar and he played saxophone, and he was really good. We didn't know that he was in complete, like, Satan. But that happened later. And like one drummer showed up. One drummer. And he was terrible. And so we were like, okay. And so we thought to ourselves, like, we cannot go with this drummer, but what are we going to do? And so Luis Oliart was the bass player. There's a few little pictures about that. This is us in Bangkok. We played in a club called FM. So there's Luis there in the middle, and Tyrone ended up being the drummer. There's Patty. Yeah.
Can you do the picture with the lady with blonde hair? This one is
End of 93.
this lady here. Her name is Margie Papith.
That's a lady?
I am currently playing Words with Friends against somebody named like Annie Papith.
Oh my God.
Like how many Papith could there be? And I sent her a thing saying, are you related to Margie Papith? She's never responded. And she's lost.
Yeah, so that lady, she's American, clearly, and she was married to a Thai man. So anyway, we ended up going, and we thought, well, we're gonna like we played 6 nights a week, and of course we didn't know any songs together. I mean, Andy and I knew a bunch of songs. We knew some of the songs Patty knew, but like we didn't know Luis and Tyrone. And they were like from a total funk background, and so the club where we played was in this like 27-story high-rise that was just being built, and we were on the 7th floor. The restaurant was like an American kind of 50s diner, and then there was this big nightclub. Amazing amount of money, lots of like amazing equipment. We got to pick all the equipment that they bought and stuff because they were going to have, you know, foreign bands come in. So we had to rehearse. It wasn't finished. The building wasn't finished. I mean, it still wasn't finished when we left, but our floors were finished. And we had to like rehearse every single day and play for 5 hours 6 nights a week, rehearse 6 nights a week. Or, you know what I meant. And so we just threw together the songs we knew. And then at some point, about 3 weeks in, they were like...
No, it was 2 months in. The gig was so long that in order to play the gig without repeating any songs, it was 55 songs. It was 8 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Wow.
And every day we were adding songs, and we got it up to 55, and that was about 2 months in. And on that day, the first day that we could do the whole night without repeating, one of the owners came in and said, let's look at your set list here. These are the ones that have to go. When he was finished, there were 17 left. So it's okay, you can repeat them, no problem.
So we thought that like we were gonna go there and like our day job would be the night gig, and then during the day we'd work on all this original music, and we'd come back and we would just be like so tight and so amazing. But then it turned out we had to keep learning because they wanted like all the stuff that was current or that the Thai audience knew, which was like a lot of love songs and Bee Gees and like Ace of Base and just horrible songs. We did get to learn some good songs, but it was exhausting. And it was great, and the people were fantastic, and we learned so much, and it was a fantastic experience. So I'm not going to subject you guys to All She Wants Is Another Baby by Ace of Base. But I thought that,
Thank you.
oh yeah, so someone had covered this song, and I'm not sure who, so it was popular at the time, and we were like, oh yeah, well, we'll learn that one. And I think Patty sang it, I think.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
So this is a song written by Danny Whitten, and it goes out to Miss Maddie. I can tell by your eyes that you've probably been crying forever, and the stars in the sky don't mean nothing to you. They're So we came back from Thailand. We missed the Northridge earthquake.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we were there, and of course, you know, no cell phones, no internet. So we had CNN, I think, and they kept talking about you know, how all of LA was destroyed, and we're trying to get, you know, calling people. And the chipster lived in Northridge, actually, and we got through to Terry Buck, and he worked downtown, and he was in the clothing business back, and all his contacts were in New York, so he would go in super early. So I guess in Hermosa, where he lived, like, there was shaking, but it wasn't like the end of the world, right? And he didn't really like watch the, you know, TV, didn't turn on the TV. So like he went to work, and he must not have gone the 10, because because he worked downtown, but he didn't go that way. And he was in his office, and we called him, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I don't even know. Like, he knew there was an earthquake, but he didn't know, like, the severity of it and stuff. We're like, "Turn on the TV!" So when we got back, Andy had, I think before we left, you'd started recording Now That the Future's Behind Us, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
And some of these guys, Luis played on some stuff, got pretty patty licks. So we did Now That the Future's Behind Us, and then we played as a duo for a lot, and we played with these knuckleheads.
Back it up.
They all want to see John Hoke.
Daddy, he looks well.
There you go. That's Bob the drummer. That's Robert.
That's Bob the drummer.
That was up in Lake Tahoe, and it's surprising we're smiling because Auntie and I had been on the road, and we had just done a gig in Salt Lake City at a Borders bookstore, and we get ready for it. Left our guitars at Borders bookstore in Salt Lake City. We were in a really big hurry, and you know, you got the bookshelves, and people were like helping us. And I remember there was like construction, so we had to get out of there really fast. And we drove to Lake Tahoe to do the rehearsal dinner, and we had no guitars. I was like, oh, that's not good. And so luckily, John and Dave and Robert were driving up from LA to Tahoe the next day for the big reception, and they brought guitars with them. I mean, it was so lucky. But yeah, that was the night that Andy and John got into the hugest fight about the Kennedy assassination. We're smiling now. But about 6 hours later, it wasn't so pleasant.
Let me guess what Andy's position was.
So yeah, so we played as a duo. I had really long hair. This is the Now That the Future's Behind Us CD release concert.
Where was that?
That was at SIR.
That's Luis on the
Hollywood.
bass, yeah.
Yeah. And this was the Blood from a Rock video.
I bought that.
You bought that?
I love that.
Yeah. And then, of course, we went to that was Dylan Fest. We played at Kerrville. That was super fun. Yeah. So anyway, moving on.
Oh.
Sexy. Yeah. That's Bob. That's for the next segment. All right. So we recorded Andy. When we did both. I don't remember the first cassette and Now That the Future's Behind Us, because we were poor and recording was expensive. We recorded those whole albums like in the middle of the night at a studio in Hollywood called Paramount. And so
It was $50 an hour after midnight. So we would go in there at midnight and do about 5 hours or so, 6 hours, come home, the sun would be up. That's always.
we'd eat at that Denny's on Sunset and Gower. Oh yeah. 7 in the morning after being up all night. It was awesome.
Living high.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. But then we did, so the next CD was the 14th of February, and I had mentioned earlier the Tudor brothers, and they were this songwriting duo of fraternal twins, and we've recorded a lot of their songs, so we thought we'd hopefully do one that we know now.
And one of the memories I have about this one is that you had managed to summarize the end of the management by saying, words were spoken, and then the band wasn't together anymore. Oh, I'll say the same thing with the band with the Tudor Brothers. The band was called Birthright, and then issues were had and unsuccessfully worked through, and then we didn't play together anymore. And during the period after that, Renee and I played a lot of shows together in the early and mid-90s. I remember we were playing over 30 times a month, and a bunch of those were at the Queen Mary. We played there 6 times a week, twice on Saturday, and we had, I think, Friday off, or twice on Sunday.
We
something
played
like that.
2 gigs on Friday. We do like the after 4 to 8 gig at Hennessy's, and then play at the Portofino from like 9 to 12 or 9 to 1.
And one day, one of the things about playing with the Tudor Brothers is that they were pretty critical to the point that we thought they should have had a little segment on Saturday Night Live called 2 Thumbs Down. They would have a guest coming in there going, today we're gonna look at Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Terry, what do you think? Oh, that derivative. Larry, Terry, you're too kind. So one of the objects of their derision was Eric Clapton's song "Wonderful Tonight," which we knew and hardly ever played, but one day somebody asked for it at the Queen Mary, and so we're playing, and who walks in after years of not speaking but Terry Tudor, and luckily this was right at the period of time that Renee had started to play guitar again. Like when we first started playing as a duo, she sang and played tambourine and shaker, but didn't play keyboards.
Very well, though.
So because we weren't in a band, and I wanted to do some soloing, I could solo a little bit, but I couldn't do it without musical backing. So, oh yeah, I used to play, So there was a song, and I wanted to have some song that had a long guitar solo at the end, and it was Larry and Terry's song, The Night That I Left Town. And we had been recording it. We hadn't mixed it yet, but we had it recorded. It was in my car. I was listening to it all the time, and we were starting to play, and it was starting to get some attention. So it's the second we finished, you look wonderful tonight. Terry Tudor just walked. So we played this song, and it's been really good to us, this song. I'm very grateful to them for it.
Should have seen coming, moved before it got late. Something deep inside of me told me I had to stay. Sometimes it's just no reason why. Doesn't matter what you do, even your biggest dream can turn its back on you. So the perfect story ended, and the curtain just came down. Cold rain was falling the night that I left town, and the people were all talking things they never heard the sound of faith that went out walking the night that I left. the bed, and the curtain just came down. A cold rain was falling the night that I left town, and the people were